You ever find yourself walking into a room and forgetting why you went in there in the first place? Or maybe you catch yourself holding onto the railing just a little tighter than you used to when going down the stairs. It's easy to brush off these little things as just part of getting older. We joke about senior moments, maybe even laugh them off with friends. But here's the truth, sometimes these subtle changes are whispering something more serious, and we've got to listen. Now, I want you to picture something. Imagine sitting comfortably in your favorite chair, your grandkids laughing in the next room, and your body feeling strong, stable, and in control. No cane in the corner. No worries about losing your balance. No fear of being a burden or being sent somewhere you don't want to go. That version of your life is not out of reach. But there's one big factor that could stand in the way, and most folks over 60 don't even realize it's the number one reason they end up in a nursing home. It's not heart disease. It's not even memory loss. It's falling. Yes, falling. A simple slip, a little stumble, one wrong step, and suddenly, your whole life can change. A fractured hip, a long hospital stay, and before you know it, the independence you've worked so hard to keep is on the line. Studies show that falls are the leading cause of injury-related hospitalizations among seniors, and the number one reason so many folks end up in long-term care facilities. But here's the good news, falling is not just some random accident that comes with age. There are clear risk factors, and better yet, things you can start doing today to reduce your risk and stay strong on your feet. That's what we're diving into right now. So if you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, or even if you're caring for someone who is, this conversation could be one of the most important ones you hear all week. We're going to talk about the surprising habits that quietly weaken your body, the overlooked signs that your balance may be slipping, and the simple steps you can take at home to stay out of the hospital and out of the nursing home. Let's start with the one that often sneaks up on us first, muscle loss. Now, most folks think of muscles as something gym rats care about. But your muscles aren't just there to flex, they're what keep you upright, balanced, and mobile. And after the age of 60, our muscle mass starts to decline faster than most of us realize. In fact, by the time you hit 70, you could lose up to 15% of your muscle mass without even noticing, until one day you try to get out of a chair and it's a whole ordeal. This gradual muscle loss, called sarcopenia, is one of the top contributors to falls among seniors. Weak legs, wobbly knees, unsteady ankles, they all come back to this. And the most dangerous part? You don't feel it happening. It's not like a sprained ankle or a pulled back muscle. It creeps in little by little, until the strength that once made you feel confident becomes something you can't rely on. But here's the beauty of it, it's never too late to build strength. I don't care if you're 60 or 90, your body can still respond to movement. Gentle resistance exercises, even just using your body weight, can make a world of difference. Things like standing from a chair without using your hands. Marching in place during commercial breaks. Light leg lifts while brushing your teeth. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership, you just need consistency. One lovely lady I spoke to, Betty, 72, started doing simple sit-to-stand movements from a recliner during her favorite soap operas. 6 months later, she told me, I haven't had to grab the wall to get up in months. That's the power of small efforts adding up. And trust me, your legs will thank you every time you step out the door with confidence. Now, muscle loss is a big piece of the puzzle, but let's not forget what holds everything together, your balance. And balance, my friend, is not just a natural ability. It's a skill. A skill that can fade with age if we don't keep practicing it. Think about the last time you stood on one foot. Was it easy? Or did you feel like a tree in a windstorm? Balance tends to decline faster than we expect, especially if we spend most of our day sitting. And once your balance goes, it's like driving on bald tires, you're one wrong move away from a real problem. But just like muscle, balance can be trained. One simple trick I love is this: every morning while brushing your teeth, stand on one foot for 10 seconds. Then switch. Hold onto the sink if you need to. Do it every day. Add a few seconds as you go. It's not just about testing your balance, it's about waking up those little stabilizer muscles in your ankles, legs, and core that help keep you steady on your feet. Another great one is sidestepping along the hallway. Take slow, controlled steps to the right, then to the left. Keep your knees soft and your hands lightly skimming the wall. It may feel silly, but these little movements retrain your body to react when it starts to tip. I had a gentleman named Walter, 78, who started doing hallway sidesteps every evening. He told me, "I feel like I've got my swagger back." That's the spirit. You don't have to be a yoga master, just stay in motion, gently challenge your body, and stay connected to how it feels when you're moving. And here's one more thing that often gets overlooked: vision. Yup, your eyes are a big part of your balance system. Blurry vision, outdated glasses, or even poor lighting at home can turn a safe step into a dangerous fall. I can't count how many times I've heard stories of folks tripping over a rug or missing a step because the lighting was just too dim. Make it a habit to get your eyes checked every year, and don't be shy about asking for brighter bulbs in your living space. Even swapping out dark rugs for light-colored ones can make obstacles more visible. Little changes, big impact. Now that we've covered how muscle loss, balance, and vision all play a role in keeping you strong and steady, let's move on to one more surprising factor that most seniors don't think about, but it could be quietly putting your independence at risk. Medications. Now, this one catches a lot of folks off guard. You're doing what the doctor says, taking your pills on time, keeping up with your prescriptions. That's a good thing. But here's the twist: some of those medications, especially when mixed together, can actually increase your risk of falling. I'm talking about dizziness, lightheadedness, slower reflexes, and even confusion, all of which can send you off balance in the blink of an eye. Blood pressure pills, sleep aids, anxiety meds, even some allergy medications, they might be helping one issue, but quietly creating another. And when you're taking multiple prescriptions, which most folks over 60 are, it gets even trickier. That's what doctors call polypharmacy, and it's something every wise elder should keep an eye on. I once spoke to a gentleman named Harold, 76, who was having dizzy spells and couldn't figure out why. Turns out, 2 of his medications were interacting in a way that made his blood pressure drop too low when he stood up. After talking with his doctor and adjusting the doses, those dizzy spells vanished, and so did his fear of falling. So what can you do? Simple. Make sure you do a medication review with your pharmacist or doctor at least once a year, twice if you can. Bring everything in, even over-the-counter stuff and supplements. Ask, are any of these causing side effects that could affect my balance? It's a smart habit and could be the difference between staying steady and taking a dangerous spill. Alright, let's keep going. Another major piece of this puzzle is something so basic, so everyday, that it's easy to overlook: your shoes. Let me ask you, are your shoes helping you, or hurting you? It might sound a little funny, but the shoes we wear in our later years can either protect us, or put us in harm's way. I've seen it time and time again: slippers with no grip, worn-out soles, heels that wobble, or shoes that are just plain too big. And they might feel comfy, but they can turn into a fall hazard in an instant. A dear friend of mine, Alice, 83 and full of spunk, used to wear those soft house slippers with the fuzzy bottoms. One day, she slipped right on the kitchen tile. Nothing broken, thank goodness, but it scared her real good. After that, she switched to a sturdy pair of non-slip shoes with a firm heel and a good tread. She says they make her feel grounded, and honestly, that's exactly what the right shoes should do. Look for shoes that fit snugly but comfortably. They should have a low, wide heel and a non-skid sole. If you like wearing slippers at home, pick the kind with rubber grips on the bottom. Trust me, you'll still feel cozy, but a whole lot safer, too. Let's move from your feet to something even deeper: your confidence. Now, this part isn't physical. It's emotional. And it's something no doctor can prescribe. When someone has a fall, or even a near fall, it's natural to get nervous. You start to second-guess yourself. Maybe you move more slowly, stop going on walks, or avoid stairs altogether. That fear can turn into a quiet kind of shrinking, shrinking your world, shrinking your activity, and worst of all, shrinking your independence. But here's the thing, avoiding movement because you're afraid of falling? That actually increases your risk of falling. You lose muscle, you lose coordination, and your body forgets how to move confidently. It's a tricky cycle, and one that takes courage to break. The best way to rebuild that confidence is through gentle, regular movement. I'm not talking about running marathons here. I mean walking with a friend, doing light stretches in the morning, joining a balance class at the local community center. Movement creates momentum. It reminds your body, hey, I've still got this. And every small victory adds up. One of my favorite stories is from Gloria, age 74. She took a bad fall in her garden and stopped going outside for almost a year. But with the help of a fall prevention program at her senior center, she slowly built her strength back, and her courage. Now she's back tending her roses with her trusty wide-brim hat and walking stick. And you should see the smile on her face when she talks about those flowers. And that leads us to something else that plays a powerful role in fall prevention, something that doesn't get talked about enough: connection. Staying socially connected is a health tool, not just a nice-to-have. Studies show that seniors who feel isolated or lonely are more likely to suffer physical decline, including balance and mobility issues. Why? Because when you're disconnected, you're less likely to stay active, less likely to be motivated, and sometimes even less likely to take care of your basic needs. Whether it's chatting with a neighbor, calling an old friend, or joining a walking group, those social interactions aren't just good for the soul, they're good for the body too. They keep your mind sharp, your heart warm, and your feet moving. So if it's been a while since you reached out to someone, maybe today's the day. Call up your cousin. Say hi to that nice lady who walks her dog past your window every morning. You never know how much that one connection could improve both your mood and your mobility. Now that we've touched on how medications, shoes, confidence, and connection all tie into fall risk, it's time to explore one more critical factor, one that could be hiding in plain sight inside your own home. One more critical factor, one that could be hiding in plain sight inside your own home, your environment. Now, most folks think of their homes as safe havens. After all, you've lived there for years, maybe even decades. You know every creaky floorboard, every step, every light switch by heart. But here's the thing, your home might feel familiar, but that doesn't always mean it's safe. In fact, the majority of falls among seniors happen right at home. Not out on a walk, not at the grocery store, right there in the kitchen, the bathroom, the hallway. I remember visiting my Uncle Joe. He's 81, stubborn as a mule, and proud of it. He was always the do-it-yourself type. But when I walked into his bathroom, I noticed something: no grab bars, a slippery rug by the tub, and a little step that was easy to miss if the lighting wasn't just right. I asked him, "Uncle Joe, how many times have you tripped in here?" He said, "Well, only twice." Only twice. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to feel like their home is turning into a hospital room. But making a few small changes can protect your freedom and independence more than just about anything else. And the best part? These changes are often quick, easy, and inexpensive. Start with the floors. Get rid of loose rugs, they're fall magnets. If you love your rugs, tape them down with non-slip backing. Make sure cords from lamps or electronics aren't snaking across the floor. And pay attention to transitions between rooms. Those little raised edges or changes in flooring can trip you up if you're not paying close attention. Lighting is another big one. As we age, our eyes need more light to see clearly. So make sure every hallway and staircase is well lit. Put night lights in the bedroom, the bathroom, and the hallway, anywhere you might wander during the night. Motion sensor lights are great, especially if you get up frequently to use the bathroom. Speaking of the bathroom, it's one of the most common places for serious falls. Wet floors, slippery tubs, low toilets, it's a recipe for disaster. Installing grab bars in the shower and near the toilet isn't just smart, it's life-saving. And if stepping into a high bathtub feels risky, consider getting a transfer bench or a walk-in shower modification. It's not about making your house look old. It's about making it safe for a wise elder who wants to stay in control. And don't forget about the furniture arrangement. Make sure your pathways are clear, no tight squeezes between chairs and tables, nothing you have to step over. If you use a walker or cane, your home should accommodate that without obstacles. Once you've made your space safer, there's one more factor that can help you stay steady on your feet, and it might surprise you. It's hydration. You might be thinking, really? Water? Yes, really. As we age, our sense of thirst starts to fade, and many seniors unintentionally go through their day mildly dehydrated. What does that mean for your fall risk? Quite a lot, actually. When you're dehydrated, your blood pressure can drop when you stand up. You may feel dizzy, lightheaded, or off balance. You might think something's wrong with your legs or your heart, when really, you just need more fluids. A good rule of thumb? Aim to sip water throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Keep a water bottle within reach in every room. If plain water isn't your thing, herbal teas, fruit-infused water, or even broth can help. Just avoid sugary drinks that can spike your blood sugar or dehydrate you even more. A lady named Rose I used to work with, she was sharp as a tack, 79 years old, and proud of her independence, told me she didn't drink much water because she didn't want to be running to the bathroom all day. Fair enough. But when she started having dizzy spells and almost fainted during a church social, her doctor said she was severely dehydrated. After that, she found a middle ground, small sips every hour, and a bathroom schedule that worked for her. Problem solved, and no more wobbly knees during choir practice. So now we've talked about your muscles, your balance, your vision, your medications, your confidence, your home, your shoes, your hydration. You might be wondering, where do I even begin? That's a great question, and here's the answer: start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in a day. Maybe today you add a night light in your hallway. Tomorrow, you test your balance while brushing your teeth. Next week, you call your pharmacist for a medication review. It's the small, steady steps that build a strong foundation. Because at the end of the day, staying out of a nursing home isn't just about avoiding falls, it's about protecting your independence, your dignity, your ability to wake up each day and say, "This is my life, and I'm still living it on my terms." I want to remind you, getting older doesn't mean giving up control. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the time to become more aware, more intentional, and more empowered than ever before. You've earned the right to live well, to feel steady, and to keep doing the things that bring you joy, whether that's gardening, dancing, or just walking through your neighborhood without worry. And if you've made it this far in the video, that tells me one thing: you care about your health. You're not someone who's going to let life just happen to you. You're someone who's choosing to stay strong, stay smart, and stay independent. Now, there's just one final piece we need to cover, because all of this advice, all of these steps, won't mean much without one thing: your mindset. That's what we'll explore next. Because all of this advice, all of these steps, won't mean much without one thing: your mindset. Let me tell you something I've seen over and over again. Two seniors, same age, same physical condition, same health risks, yet one ends up thriving and living independently for years, while the other slowly declines and ends up needing full-time care. What's the difference? It's not money. It's not luck. It's mindset. It's how you choose to see yourself and your future. You see, society has this nasty habit of sending the message that after 70, 75, or 80, your best days are behind you. That you should slow down, step aside, fade quietly. But let me say this loud and clear: that is simply not true. Wise elders are not fading, they are leading. They are teaching, guiding, and still growing. And you, my friend, are no exception. You're not fragile, you're resilient. You're not old, you're experienced. You're not slowing down, you're just choosing what's truly worth your energy. That shift in thinking makes all the difference. I've met 90-year-olds who walk every day, who laugh often, who cook their own meals and still flirt with the cashier at the grocery store. I've also met folks in their early 70s who gave up on themselves too soon, who stopped moving, stopped learning, and slowly shrank into fear and silence. What separates them isn't just physical strength, it's mental strength. It's the belief that their life still has purpose. That they still have purpose. And you do. Whether it's tending to your garden, mentoring your grandchildren, or simply waking up and making your own cup of coffee, you have purpose. You matter. And the world still needs what you bring to it. That belief, that confidence, becomes the fuel for everything else we've talked about. When you believe you're still capable, you're more likely to move your body, to challenge your balance, to eat well, to hydrate, to connect with others. It's all connected. Your mindset is the quiet engine that drives every choice you make. And let me say this, if you've been feeling discouraged lately, maybe you've had a fall or gotten some tough news from the doctor, it's okay. It happens to all of us. What matters most is what you do next. You get back up. You talk to your doctor. You make a plan. You keep going. You are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to feel frustrated. But never, ever believe that it's too late. Because as long as you're still here, there is still time. Still joy. Still music to be played and stories to be told. I want you to think of fall prevention not as a burden, but as a gift. It's not about fear, it's about freedom. It's about giving yourself the tools and habits that allow you to live life on your terms. Not in a hospital bed. Not in a nursing home. But right there in the comfort of your own home, where you belong. So let's take a moment and breathe that in. The power is in your hands. You can build strength at any age. You can create safety in your home. You can surround yourself with love, laughter, and light. And you can choose to believe in your ability to live fully. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one change you're planning to make after watching this video? Maybe you'll check your shoes. Or call your doctor. Or finally install that grab bar in the bathroom. Whatever it is, share it in the comments. I read every single one, and your story could inspire someone else, too. And if this video helped you, even just a little, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We've got more helpful content coming your way about senior health, aging gracefully, living with purpose, and protecting the independence you've worked so hard for. Because here's the truth, aging isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. Every line on your face, every silver strand of hair, that's wisdom earned. That's strength. That's beauty. So take that next step with pride. Raise your head high. And remember, small changes make a big difference. You are not alone. And your best years aren't behind you, they're still being written. Here's to living your best life at any age. Stay strong. Stay steady. And as always, stay wonderful, my friend.